Hi everybody, Debra Dickinson here. Thank you for being on my channel today. Did you know that there are studies being done to help agencies possibly curtail and maybe even prohibit NRCs? And what the heck are NRCs? Hard to say. Stay tuned. I'll tell you more about it. Okay, first let me lay the groundwork. The U.S. National Forest Service covers 154 national forests, 20 national grasslands, which includes 193 million acres in 43 states and Puerto Rico. Now, in those 193 million acres, it is illegal to take up residency. That is already on the books. But what the heck is an NRC? First of all, NRC stands for non-recreational campers. And in a study that I am going to read to you in just a moment, the definition of NRC as they defined it and what the study means. And the reason I'm using this study is because it pretty much encapsulates everything else that I found. And I want to tell Tim Untethered, thank you for sending me the link to this particular study. And the reason I'm using it is because it shows everything that I am seeing out here. And I will put it, as always, in the video description and the pinned comment below so that you can go look for yourself. But in it, it talks about non-recreational camper types. And I am going to read you, they actually list 10. I'm going to go to my computer and I'm going to read you 3 of the definitions of 3 of the 10. And then I will read you their definition of NRCs. Okay, here are 2 non-recreational camper types. 1, transient retirees. Individuals who appear to be elderly or retired and live in campers or recreational vehicles. 2, and again, this is just 2 of 10. I'm not going to read you the whole list. You can go to the link down below and check this out for yourself. Homeless adult groups. Informal gatherings of homeless adults where group members may come and go. And actually, I'm going to read you a 3rd. Families. Family groups of multiple generations, parents with children, or single-parent families. And here is the definition of non-recreational campers that they put in this study. And this study, again, was done for the U.S. National Forest. And I will tell you what, in their own words specifically, later on in the video, why this was done and why we might see laws coming about because of it. So non-recreational campers are those occupying a site for longer than 2 weeks for purposes other than traditional recreation. Well, National Forest Service limits you to 2 weeks, so that right there is a no-no. But this includes individuals, families, or larger groups who are unemployed, seasonally employed, chronically homeless, temporarily displaced, transient retirees, students, or other travelers passing through the area. It may also include those living in the forest as a life choice. Now again, I want to remind you that when I read you their definition of some of those that they just listed, a transient retiree is an individual who appears to be elderly or retired and lives in campers or recreational vehicles. So make no mistake about it, NRCs are non-recreational campers living in their vehicle or rig. Okay, in my last video, I told you guys that, you know, the Leos have their hands full and don't identify yourself as living in your rig or camper, and that I was going to tell you about laws coming down the pike and why you don't want to do that. This study said that the NRCs mostly included, and this is an extensive study, and I'll get more into that in a moment, mostly included the top 4. They list a whole bunch. The top 4 are solitaries, families, transient retirees, and 4th is fugitives. So solitaries, families, and transient retirees are the top 3. And I'm giving you the highlights only. It's a very long, intensive study. And in this study, NRCs are considered marginalized people. The survey included more than half of all USFS, United States Forest Service LEOs, from all 9 USFS regions. This was an extensive study. They don't put money into such stuff like that without a reason, so hang tight, you guys. In their responses, LEOs indicated that the most common form of homeless campers, so we went from NRCs to homeless campers, same in their books, included adult groups and transient retirees living in an RV. So again, you are camping. You're never living in your RV or your rig or your vehicle on public lands. You are camping. Go refer back to my last video if you don't know what I'm talking about. So here's the reason why they did this extensive, expensive study. The reason for the study was to propel, that means fast, right? You propel something, to propel solutions to the homeless occupancy of public lands. Now, a reminder again that NRCs includes retirees and families, etc. That includes even in your $1 million buses. So I don't care what you're in, say you're camping, you don't live there. Anyway, if you say you live full-time, you're just asking for trouble. But a legal residency bypasses all of this, you guys. Some want to push that point because not everybody, and especially right now in these hard times in our country, have a legal residency. But I don't recommend that you do that. And so what is the point? Why am I saying this? Well, there's new and more stringent laws coming up to prevent homelessness on public lands. It's inevitable. Studies like this are being done everywhere, and the homelessness on public lands is an issue. And the only way that law enforcement officers and rangers can enforce something is if there are laws on the books that back them up. So there has to be something that gives them the authority to protect the public lands. Again, it's the few renting it for the many. And I'm not talking to law-abiding citizens here and even people that are down on their luck and living in their cars that are not abusing our public lands. But we're the ones that pay for that. So LEOs I personally know have said some laws in their state may roll out as early as January 1. Now, in a court of law, since I can't and will not provide my resources or references on that statement that I just made, that would be considered hearsay. But if you have known me and you have followed my channel for any length of time, you know I don't make shit up, you guys. And I'm doing this video because I think it is a very important subject. And again, you can go to the links below that I do provide. With the increasing number of people that are actually homeless, it is a sad situation on many levels. This isn't a slam against the homeless. This isn't a slam against those that don't have a legal residency and are living out of their vehicles or rigs. It is how to CYA. This is for you, for your protection. But like I said in my last video, the 4 things of what you need to say to be able to say to a Leo if need be, because they deal with a lot and you just don't want to cause trouble for yourself. They can only enforce laws, like I said, that are on the books, and that's why these laws will change, I think, to give them the right for enforcement. I think it's inevitable. I just see it coming. And again, it's to protect our public lands from the few that are renting it for the many. I might seem a little scattered because I'm a little nervous because I want this to land correctly, and I know that there are many people living in their rigs and vehicles right now that don't have legal residency and don't have many options. And my heart is with you, but please watch my last video on the 4 things that you need to be able to say to a Leo to stay out of trouble. And does there need to be laws that protect and are written to exempt those who might fall under some of the NRC definitions? Absolutely. I think there should be. But that's not the way it's going right now. And going all full-blown anarchy and going toe-to-toe with Leos on the ground, I don't think that's the way to accomplish maybe rewriting things so that it allows for full-time living in a rig. In fact, promoting that you go toe-to-toe with a Leo, or that you stand up for your rights when you can, and promoting anarchy, I think that can be dangerous. There are many organizations that represent large groups of RVers, we know that, but there aren't any that have formed a coalition that I'm aware of to legally represent NRCs. Coalitions are needed, lobbyists are needed, and yes, at some point even lawyers will have to get involved, because the law is written through legislation. Laws are changed through state and federal legislation, you guys. They're not changed out in the field when you go toe-to-toe with Leo. I just don't advise it. So, I mean, rarely does anarchy and grassroots campaigns, rarely do those work. And especially individuals, it takes money. It takes groups of people. It takes the coalitions and the lobbyists and a lot of effort and attorneys to get laws changed. And I don't know how you get individual NRCs, these non-recreational campers, as those definitions said. We're coast to coast and border to border. I don't know how you pull together and hire lawyers and lobbyists, but I do know that's how laws get written and laws get changed. Until then, be sure you go back and watch my video on what to say to Leos to protect yourself. My next 2 videos will be about the legalities around the changes that the pipeline fire suspect has been charged with. And you may be asking why I'm doing these videos right now. It's because after I ran from that fire and after the run-in with the Leo, this is just, it's always been close to my heart, but it's just really imminent right now, I believe. And so I'll be sharing what that means to you, and the things that he was charged with, and the things that we need to be aware of. Things are definitely changing, you guys. I see it, and I believe it. It is fascinating to me that the study that I've been quoting was first done for the USFS, the United States Forest Service. I usually call it NFS, National Forest Service, in 2015. That's the same year I got on the road and started camping with Bob Wells. And the irony does not escape me about that. But if we're not diligent and careful, we really might see boondocking come to an end for NRCs. So remember, when you're camping, click this link. You don't live in your rig. You're camping, okay? Anyway, at least until we can get laws written that protect those who do. So that's it. I hope that you found something useful in here. I hope that you get that the elevator is coming to a bottom floor, and I'm going to cover in future videos about the charges for the pipeline, the person that was arrested for starting the pipeline fire, who happened to be a non-recreational camper. And I will share with you more about the changes that I'm seeing here in a video coming up after that. I'll give you evidence of the changes I'm seeing. So if you found this useful, please be sure and share it. And like I always say, please like and comment, but make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And if you're willing, please check out my Patreon account. It is in the links below as well, and you can join for as little as $1 a month, where I write even more in detail and share more there. So that's it for today, everybody, and I'll get back to just regular vlog fun videos soon, but I have to get these off my heart and my mind and share with you. We'll see you down the road. Keep on keeping on.